Yo, what is going on, lovers and friends? Today is going to be a relatively quick and easy video. So the Final Fantasy VII Remake video just dropped, and oh my gosh, I've watched it maybe 5 times already. Maybe 3 of those times I've almost cried in nostalgia. Um, I can't begin to tell you like what that game, the franchise, the series, Final Fantasy VII means to me, man. I grew up playing the first one. I grew up playing Final Fantasy VII on PlayStation 1. And there's just so much about that game that I love. The story's like gritty enough, but comical enough, but has like a bunch of different mechanics that is awesome. And that game. Anyhow, there are, I think, about 8 things that I want to talk about real quick, just briefly from the trailer. Let's get into that. Mr. President, so the first note I want to talk about is that song. Listen to that song. The first couple times that I listened to it, I wasn't really down with it. I was like, give me that traditional Final Fantasy VII music. But I think like on the third time, I was like, all right, if this is like what the new music that they're gonna add to the game, I'm on board with it. It's like, it sounds good to me. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. And so the next note I want to talk about is the story changes. I can definitely tell if they're changing the story. They're kind of adapting it to be like a solo game, because this fight right here is way too early to be happening. I'm not going to spoil the story, but Cloud should not be fighting Sephiroth this early in the game. Nowhere near in Shinra. Where's that second clip at? If I can find it. Nowhere near. It looks like they're in the Shinra's facility, but they also might be in the mountain. But either way, it's still too early for them to be fighting. So I'm curious to know like how they change the story. Either whatever they do, I'm down with it. Square, you can do whatever you want, but it's just an observation that I've made. Now, my next note is how they decided to portray Heidenberg. This guy, I think his name's Heidenberg. I always imagine him to be goofy, because the lines and dialogue that they give him in the game is always like goofy, and he's always has these like really animated laughs and movements and whatnot. But like the voice acting that they decided to go with is quite interesting, and we'll see if I end up liking that or not. I don't know. I think it's gonna work. It's a good comical relief, I suppose. So here's another interesting thing about the story changes. They're adding characters to the story. We have no idea who this guy is, but we do know he's like a first-class soldier. That's all Final Fantasy lore. I'm interested to see, is he a likable guy? Is he not a likable guy? Does he have a good backstory? What's the deal with this guy? Is he just kind of forced into the story? We'll see. We will see. Either way, I'm gonna love it. Then my next note is just I'm really happy to see like how action packed a lot of this is when they realized it like in like full 3D space, because when you're playing the game it seems like it'd be really action packed, and okay, then it cuts to like a climbing stairs montage. It seems like it'd be really action packed, and watching this and like its full 3D potential looks like they were able to really sell that, the action packedness that you always imagined it would be. So kudos with that. Now here's a really interesting one right here. There's these things called the Watchmen of Fate, I think, and they're gonna play a huge role in the story, which is interesting because they aren't in the original Final Fantasy story as far as I know. I know there's like I think they're called like Genova copies or something, the little black robe figures, but I don't think they were called Watchmen of Fate. Even if they were, they didn't have a major role in the story of the game. But to see like this new figure like completely covering the Shinra building, and Aerith here is talking about Shinra's not really even a threat. I'm interested to see what they have up their scheme and how much they're gonna change like the original story for this new series that they're doing. I'm really interested. I mean, listen, again, I don't care what they do. I know they're gonna do well. and I'm gonna eat it up regardless. I can't wait, but we'll see what happens. And my final note that I want to talk about is I'm so happy they kept in Honeybee Inn. I am really, really happy. Um, so this is a bit hard to talk about. So Honeybee Inn, for those of you that aren't aware, it's like a LGBTQ bar slash hotel in the original game, where there were a lot of gay dudes, and a lot of gay dialogue and stuff like that. And you know, our culture has changed a lot over the last few decades when this game was released. I don't think that I don't think culture like around the world was as, what's the correct word? Sensitive, I think is the correct word, or as sensitive and like uh caring. I'm not sure what the word I'm looking for, but our culture was a lot more ruthless against like the LGBTQ community. So there's probably stuff in the game back then that was really offensive to that community, and therefore it was really controversial if they would added some of the stuff back in the entire Honeybee Inn bit, in its entirety, whatever I'm trying to say. And I'm glad to see they did add it, and I'm sure that they changed some stuff. Hopefully, made it a lot more tasteful. But I think it's a good thing because you have this heroic figure that a lot of people look up to, and he gets to wear a dress for a little bit, and it's just like, to me, you have little goofs, you have little gaffes, but it also teaches people that, like, you don't even need to take everything so seriously. I'm happy they kept it in. We'll see what happens. But that's pretty much all of my, observations from the trailer. I'm really excited for this game to come out. I can't wait to purchase it day one and play it for a good 12 hours straight before my eyes turn purple. Go check out the trailer if you haven't already, please. Even if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about today, the game it's quite amazing. It's a great story. It's fun. And it's a great world. I'm getting off this now.